All right, let's jump right in. Picture this scenario, because we've literally all been there. You open up ChatGPT, sit down, and for what feels like the fifth time this week, you're meticulously re-explaining your entire project from scratch. You're typing out your tech stack, your incredibly specific naming conventions, the overarching architecture, that tricky bug you somehow managed to squash 2 weeks ago, and the new feature you're trying to build today. Just think about the sheer amount of time and mental energy wasted just setting the stage over and over again. By the time the AI finally grasps your database schema, you're already exhausted before writing a single line of new code. Well, today in this explainer, we're going to look at how a quietly powerful new update from OpenAI just completely shattered this frustrating Groundhog Day loop of manual prompting. And honestly, this quote brilliantly hits the nail on the head regarding the core problem we've been facing. You're dealing with a brilliantly capable AI, sure, but it starts with a complete blank slate every single time you spin up a session. It's exactly like talking to someone with amnesia who somehow still has a PhD. Before this update dropped, this amnesia was undeniably the single biggest friction point in using AI for any kind of serious, long-term technical work. Because think about it, when an AI can't remember what you did yesterday, it restricts the tool to just being a fancy search engine for quick questions. You absolutely cannot treat it like a true development partner if you have to spend 20 minutes onboarding it every single morning. But as you'll see, that barrier is exactly what is changing. So here is our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Fixing AI amnesia. 2. How persistent memory works. 3. 2. Practical AI workflows. 4. Limitations and privacy risks. And 5. The proactive AI future.
Section 1. Fixing AI amnesia. Moving past the blank slate.
Okay, the absolute game changer here is that we are finally moving away from the old manual way of doing things. The days of opening up a static notes app, copying a massive project brief, and dumping it into the chat window are officially over. Instead, ChatGPT and Codex now continuously update a living, evolving knowledge base about your specific workflows, your exact code base, and your personal preferences. And to be clear, this isn't just some static file. It's an intelligent background process that actually learns as you work. Let's say you're mid-project, and you actively decide to change a core variable name, or maybe you completely shift from one design system to another. The AI handles that seamlessly. It recognizes the shift in your code and quietly updates its own internal context, without you ever having to say, hey, please update your instructions. It simply adapts, essentially putting an end to repetitive prompting once and for all. Section 2. How persistent memory works, under the hood of the new system. Now, what's genuinely fascinating is how this actually functions technically under the hood, because it relies on 3 very specific pillars. First up, there's a highly visible memory summary panel, so you can actually see what the AI knows about you. Imagine opening this panel and it explicitly says, user is building a SaaS app using Next.js and Supabase, prefers TypeScript, names components using Pascal case. It's literally taking real-time notes on you. Second, we have auditable memory sources. Right under each AI response, there's a sources button. Click it, and you see exactly which past conversation triggered that specific personalization. This transparency is absolutely crucial. If the AI makes a bizarre suggestion, there's no black box. You can debug exactly why it made that choice and correct the memory. And third, these are proactive automatic updates. If your startup pivots from React to Svelte, the AI notices and updates its memory bank. Oh, and for those using Codex, this extends to parallel agent workflows. Because the AI persistently remembers your context, an agent can run massive background tasks, like refactoring a whole legacy component, while you code something else entirely. It's a massive time saver. Section 3. 2 practical AI workflows, putting the theory to work. For developers, this creates a beautifully simple and highly effective loop. Step 1, onboard once. You feed the system your complete project brief, your stack, your folder structure, and your sprinkles, just one single time. Step 2, start directing Codex without ever re-explaining yourself. Because the context is already loaded in, you can just say, build me a user authentication module, and the output is instantly accurate to your TypeScript preferences. But step 3 is where the magic really happens, letting that memory compound. This is exactly like working with a senior developer who deeply knows your codebase. Week 2, you fix a caching bug, and the system logs it. Week 3, you build a dashboard, and the AI actively connects the dots back to the authentication module you made earlier. Picture month 6 of using this. The AI isn't just generating boilerplate anymore. It's actively anticipating your architectural decisions, avoiding edge cases you discussed months ago, and coding with a deep historical understanding of your entire platform. But what if you're doing more iterative, knowledge-heavy work?
Well, you'll use the research to build pipeline. Step 1, you feed your foundational data into the knowledge base. Say you're a data scientist, you feed in an incredibly messy data set, your specific KPIs, and your desired statistical models. Step 2, you shift directly over to Codex to execute components. Using that shared memory, you can instruct the AI to build out complex Python visualization scripts week after week without ever re-explaining the nuances of that original messy data. You aren't just prompting anymore, you're directing. And step 3, you actively iterate by using the memory summary as your living changelog. When you redesign a dashboard parameter or pivot your focus, you just tweak the memory panel. It literally collapses what used to be weeks of repeated prompting into a totally seamless workflow.
Section 4, Limitations and Privacy Risks, the Reality Check. Okay, look, I've got to be completely straight with you. This isn't perfect yet. There are some catches. First, it's a gradual rollout. So depending on your region and your account tier, you might not have full access today. Second, there is a very real maintenance overhead here. Honestly, think of this system like a highly capable, but sometimes a bit stubborn, smart intern. Automated memory occasionally captures the wrong detail or holds on to outdated architectural choices. If you pivot directions, you have to manually go in and correct that intern. It's the classic rule of garbage in, garbage out. Failing to prune this memory can actually lead to AI hallucinations based entirely on your own outdated instructions. And finally, we have to talk about privacy. You must actively manage what sensitive technical details and proprietary data are stored in this memory. OpenAI does give you the controls to delete or suppress memories, but if you are under a strict NDA or handling secure client data, you have got to take the wheel and manage that data actively. Section 5, the proactive AI future, a fundamental shift in AI interaction.
Guys, what we are watching right now is the absolute death of the prompt response model. AI is no longer just a really smart search engine with a chatty personality, it's becoming a persistent collaborator. Once an AI can actually remember who you are, what exactly you're building, and the specific code conventions you care about, it fundamentally changes how software is developed and how complex research gets done. I mean, think back to the way AI operated just in 2023. You had to baby it through every single tiny context window, holding its hand step by step. The speed of this evolution is just staggering. It's transitioning completely from a reactive tool that just sits there waiting for commands to a proactive, long-term technical partner that remembers past mistakes, anticipates your future needs, and grows directly alongside your projects.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative question. When you think about the inevitable loss of manual control versus the absolutely massive gain in daily productivity, where do you draw the line? Like, if your AI tools could perfectly remember absolutely everything about your projects, would you actually trust them to work autonomously in the background? Does this level of proactive autonomy feel like a massive, totally necessary upgrade to your workflow, or is it stepping just a bit too far into the unknown?
I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this because it's such a massive shift in how we work. Please drop your answer down below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, please. And drop a comment in comment box. Let me know if you trust this new AI memory system, and I will see you in the next explainer.